Hi BookTube, it's Missy, and today I'm going to be doing my most anticipated reads for August, but I'm also going to backtrack and give you the ones that I wanted to buy or read in June and also in July. I didn't have enough in June to actually make a video, and then July came, or the end of June came, and then I forgot to do the July one, and now I'm just going to do a big wrap up. Before we get started, I want to talk about my hair. Now, some people have asked how I got the curly hair, like the wavy bits. I do this, and it's always the same. It looks like a trash because I slept on it. But basically, I just French braid my hair upside down. And then I put bobby pins in it so that way it stays. Because if you were to put clips, or say I put like a rubber band at the bottom of my... at the bottom of you know, the braid, then you would have the rubber band marks. So it's just braided backwards, upside down. And then that way I have all of the curly bits right from the get-go. And, oof, let's flip it up. Now, normally, it's a mane of curls, but it will lay flat in the next, I don't know, like 20 minutes. It'll start laying a little bit less poofy, but it'll be this curly all the way around, and then I feel like it's just a lot faster and easier than, I don't have a curling iron, but to curl my hair, and then I can just go and then feel like I have a different hairstyle other than flat and boring. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys how I got my curly hair. And it goes, I mean, like I said, it goes all the way down to the bottom. If you were to do it the opposite way, you would have more of the top flat instead of the bottom, because you get more intense plaits for the braid toward the end. So if you go upside down, somehow the top gets more braided, and it just makes it a lot better. Anyways, that was... I don't know. I just wanted to share. Okay, now that we've gotten the hair part out of the way, and I kind of wish I would have kept it up because now I'm really hot and sweaty. Okay, so I have 3 months worth of anticipated reads, so let's get started. The first book for June is Secret of the Sevens, and this is by Lynn Lindquist. This is a secret society boarding school type of mystery thriller book. A boy goes to a boarding school. He finds out that there used to be a secret society. The people in that society, well, the kids in the society kill and murder, well, kill and murder is the same thing. They murder the head guy of the school, and then somehow they get caught and burned alive. Something to that effect. And now the boy, you know, needs to go and find out all this information. I don't know why he wants to find it out, but he does. And there's secret tunnels and passageways and secret doors. And I just want to read it because it's, one, a boarding school, and two, it's a secret society. And I love those kinds of things. It's creepy. I want to read it. The second book on the list for June is, what is it? Deadfall, which is the sequel to Blackbird by Anna Carey. Now, Blackbird was a second-person POV of a girl who was found on a subway track. She doesn't know who she is, but she starts running. She feels like people are chasing her, and there are people chasing after her. She meets a boy in a grocery store, like has insta-love with him, which I hated, and the ending was crazy, and you're left on a cliffhanger. Now, I gave the book 3.5 stars because of the insta-love, because of the second person, because I couldn't get into it, but also, I don't know. There was flaws in the storyline, and it was really weird, but I'm interested in knowing what happens next because it's only a duology, and these books are only like 200 pages, so it should be fine. All right. For July, there is Silver in the Blood by Jessica Day George. This is a shapeshifter book, and it's also historical fiction. So I've never read a shapeshifter book, like by itself, if that makes sense. So I've read paranormal books with vampires and werewolves and all of them, but never an actual just straight werewolf book. And I don't know if this is just a straight werewolf book, but I don't like Jacob Black from the Twilight series. I hate him. And so for the last, 10 years, I've decided I don't like werewolves. Although in adult books, I think they're fine. Like in True Blood, the Sookie Stackhouse books, the werewolves are great. They're ripped and sexy and I love them, but I don't like YA werewolves. I don't know. So I want to read this book and see if, I am judging werewolves prematurely and I should be liking them instead. All right, next is The Escape by Hannah Jane. This is a mystery thriller YA, and it's got the trope where two kids go into the woods and only one comes back out alive. That happens often. In this case, it's two boys, and they don't actually come out. One is found all bloodied, and then later on, one is found dead. Now, the creepy part is they don't know if the kid is the killer or if they were abducted or whatever. The boy that was found has no recollection of what happened when he went into the woods and while he was there, which is, again, something that always happens in these kinds of books, but it sounds interesting, and so I want to read it. The next one is Mania by J.R. Johansson. This is the third book in the Insomnia trilogy. I read the first one, Insomnia. The second one what was the second one? I can't remember the second one was. But it's about a boy who can go into dreams. And this one is way different than another dream book that I read, which was the Wake Trilogy by Lisa McMahon. This one, the boy, whoever he sees last is the dreamer that he ends up in at night. And so in the first book it's called Insomnia because he never ever sleeps. Because all of these dreams that he has to relive or live through at nighttime is too tiresome, and they're always, running around, or it's always like an exciting dream that he ends up in, and then he can never sleep. And he meets a girl at school, a new student, who, when he looked at her last before he went to bed, she was calm and like serene and very meditative, and he actually got to sleep that night. So he becomes obsessed with looking at this girl before he goes to bed at night because he wants to be able to actually sleep. And it gets more and more confusing and more elaborate throughout the series. Now we know that there's a hierarchy of dreaming people or dream walkers. And so he's just one of the hierarchy. And so I'm interested to find out what happens in the final book. And then we have The Rebel Mechanics by Shanna Swenson. And this is an alternate history of the 13 colonies that are actually being ruled by the British instead of, being by themselves. And by British magic, which sounds so fascinating. I love magic, and so seeing anything with that is awesome. And this is also a steampunk, historical fiction, all that jazz. I want to read it. And then there's No Such Person by Caroline B. Cooney. I've heard of her before, and she writes the Girl on the Milk Carton series or something like that, to that effect. There's like 3 or 4 books in the series, and it's all really short books. But I believe this one's a standalone, and so instead of reading an entire series by her, I wanted to try this one out first and see if I like her. And then finally is Return to the Dark House, which the first one is Welcome to the Dark House, so this is the sequel. And this book I gave 5 stars to. This is by Laurie Faria Stolars, and this is like a YA slasher thriller horror book. And I mean, just think of any kind of slasher movies that you like where the kids all die. This is the kind of book it is, and it's absolutely amazing. And so I can't wait to read the second book. This one came out just last week. A lot of people have already hauled it. I'm sad that I haven't been able to read it yet. The first one I got from the library, so this one I'm going to get from the library since I don't own them. And then hopefully one day I can get them for really cheap somewhere. But for now, it's the library. Hopefully they get it soon. All right, on to the anticipated reads of August. Now, there are 17 books on my list. That's really long. I'm just going to give you the title, the author, and the genre. I'm not going to get too much into synopses, but let's do this. The first one is After the Red Rain by Barry Lyga. He's the author of I Hunt Killers, a YA murder book kind of like Dexter. I haven't read it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And the reason why I want to read this book is, one, because I kind of know the author, and two, Peter Facinelli. Carlisle from Twilight helped write this book. It's so bizarre. I want to read it. It's got very mixed reviews on Goodreads. A lot of people say it's trash. I don't care. It's a post-apocalyptic book, and I want to read it solely because Peter helped write it, which is so weird. Okay, the next one is Mechanica by Betsy Cornwell. This is a Cinderella retelling. It's about a girl who dabbles in mechanics, kind of like Cinder from the Lunar Chronicles, but she's not a cyborg, and it sounds amazing, and if it's a retelling of Cinderella, I want to read it. So that one, shoot, I didn't tell you the stinking days it comes out. So After the Red Rain comes out on the 4th of August. This one, which is Mechanica, comes out on the 25th of August. I don't know why there's such a huge gap. Normally I put them in order, but this one, it was off on one site, and then Goodreads says it comes out on the 25th. You guys don't care. It comes out on the 25th of August. Sounds interesting. All right, the next one is Of Dreams and Dust. Rust. Of Dreams and Rust. This is the sequel to Of Metal and Wishes by Sarah Fine. Now, I've read Sarah's Guards of the Shadowland trilogy. Well, the first 2 books in the trilogy, and I absolutely love Sarah's writing, and so I am totally interested in reading this series. The first book is on Book Outlet right now, and I keep wanting to buy it, and last week it was like $2.99, and I missed buying it. But anyways, it's like a steampunk horror novel with ghosts set in like an Asian culture. It sounds so stinking good. I want to read it now. And the second one comes out. So the second one comes out on the 4th of August. The next one is The Nightmare Charade by Mindy Arnett. This is the 3rd and final book in the Inkwell, is it Inkwell? Yeah. Oh, Arkwell Academy trilogy. I own the first 2 books. I just hauled it last month, I believe. And it's about a girl who's actually a nightmare, so she has to go into people's dreams and be scary and all that. And I really want to read it. But I want to kind of wait for the 3rd book to be in my possession so I can marathon this series. All right, the next one is called Public Enemies, and this is by Anna Guire. I'm saying her last name wrong. Sorry, but I'm just going to go with it. This is the sequel to Mortal Danger, which I own. I haven't read it yet. And, yeah, a lot of sequels. I just add them on there if I own the book because I'm assuming I'm going to like them. And I don't remember what this is about. I feel awful, but obviously it has something to do with paranormal or thrillers or horror if I bought it. So it should be good. The next is called The Creeping by Alexandra Sayari. I think that's how you say it. And this comes out on August 18th, and this is a mystery horror. Sounds so good. It's about 2 girls. Remember what it's about? Oh, I feel awful. Anyways, it's a horror. I want to read it. The next one is called Shackled by Tom Levin. This is also coming out on August 18th. And this is a thriller crime book. A best friend sees her friend get kidnapped and doesn't do anything about it. She's like, I don't know, shell-shocked or post-traumatic stress, whatever, disorder. And then she's in a coffee shop 10 years or something like that later and sees a girl that looks just like her friend, and the friend goes, help me, and then gets taken away again, and the girl decides after, I don't know, days or something that she's finally going to do something about it. I don't know if I'm going to like this, but I want to try and read it. And only because it seems like the friend is a douche. I don't know. If I saw my friend be kidnapped, I would immediately go to the police and tell them about it. People are always scared in books, like, oh, they're going to come kidnap me too. Go help them. What's wrong with you? All right, the next one is The Dead Girls of Hysteria Hall. I'm stopping right there. This thing I want to pre-order, but I already have 3 pre-orders in August. But this thing sounds amazing. It is, they say on Goodreads, a book between Asylum, which, do I have it up here? Where is it? Oh, right here. Asylum. I loved this book. And Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Now, it's a must. It's a must read. I want to read it. And this is by, why don't I have a... Oh, hold on. So this book is by Katie Allender. This is one of her trilogies that she wrote, Bad Girls Don't Die. I haven't read it yet, but I'm really interested in reading it. And I'm also getting the sequel in the mail sometime next week. But yeah, so she's writing a new book, and I'm super excited because regardless, something between Asylum and Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children sounds amazing, which means, to me, it means like the book's going to have pictures in it, and I really want to see pictures. So, yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. Can't wait to read it. All right, so the next one is called Diary of a Haunting, and this one comes out on the 25th of August. It's by M. Verano, and this one sounds super creepy. It's about a old haunted house, and where they did cult, like there was a cult that lived in the house, and they did like experimental things on people, and then a new family moves into the house. It's a haunted house book. I want to read it. All right, the next book is called Stranded by Melinda Braun, and it's comes out on August 25th, and it's a survival book about teens and Mother Nature. I haven't read a lot of survival books, but they're always interesting to know, or not know, but they're interesting to read to find out how the people are going to react to certain situations and what their solution is. And I always like that. So, yeah, I can't wait to read this one. Next is Dead Upon a Time. This one. If I had to put like things in like by number, this would be on the top of the list. It's called, like I said, Dead Upon a Time. Okay, like Once Upon a Time, but Dead Upon a Time. So it's bad. Nightmare Fairy Tales. Ah, this is the best. It's by Elizabeth Paulson. His name was Robert Paulson. His name was Robert Paulson. You get that reference, you get 5 points and a gold star. Anyways, her name is Elizabeth Paulson. This book comes out on August 25th. And like I said, Fairytale Nightmares. I want to read it! All right, the next book is called 13 Days of Midnight by Leo Hunt. And this one comes out again on the 25th. This is a paranormal dark inheritance book. I can't go into more detail because I kind of forgot, but inheritance, anything is great. Dark is awesome, and paranormal is superb. So that's what I want to read. The next book is called Reawaken by Colleen Houck. I think that's how you say her last name. This one comes out on August 11th. Again, I don't know why some of these I wrote down not in chronological order, but this one is an Egyptian myth fantasy. I don't read a lot of Egyptian books. The last one I read was Chaos of the Stars, or Chaos to the Stars, by Kristen White. I think that's how you say her name. Anyways, I'll leave a picture of the book. That was the last year Egyptian kind of book that I read, and I really liked it, and so I'm hoping I like this one too. The next one is Keepers of the Labyrinth by Erin E. Moulton, and this one comes out on the 25th, and this is a Greek mythology book, and it's also middle grade. So yeah, they compared it to Heroes of Olympus, but a little bit more grown up. I don't know, so that sounds interesting. All right, and then the last 3 are my pre-orders. These aren't in chronological order, but I'm super excited. I already bought them. I'm waiting for them to come to my house, and that is Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. This is the sequel to The Diviners. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to actually get this in my hands and read it. This one comes out on the 25th of August. I'm hoping that there's no mistakes and it absolutely comes out then. Also, there is The Uninvited by Kat Winters. This one comes out on the 11th of August. This is her third standalone that she's written. I read her first two, which is Blackbirds. What was it? Oh, I'll leave a picture. And then the other one was anyways, I'll leave both of the pictures of her books up here. I read them both. I loved them both. The second book that she wrote really infuriated me because it was about women's suffrage, something like that. I say it wrong because I'm a moron. And it was just really, really good. So I can't wait to read this one. This one is like a paranormal scary story, so that's fascinating. And then the last and final book of my list is Slasher Girls and Monster Boys. This is a collaboration book of a whole bunch of YA authors that came together to write a wonderful YA horror novel of a bunch of short stories. It comes out on the 18th of August. I'm so stinking excited for this book. I've been waiting for at least 7-8 months. I saw it forever ago, and yes, so I can't wait to read it. And that, my friends, are my anticipated reads for June, July, and August. Hope you stuck with me. A lot of good books are coming out in August. I can't wait to read them all. And that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. It is Friday, so I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!